And so many people are really price focused right now, which is justifiable. I mean, with rising insurance costs are like, what? I don't want to like think about my $20,000 ring until you lose it or the diamond falls out, right?
That's exactly. You don't like the money that you spend until the moment that you actually need it to cash in on it, for sure. That's an interesting, it's an interesting space to be like, calling them and saying like, the reaction of like, you're just adding to it. It's like you said, you add to your home over time, right? You accumulate things, and without a doubt, one of those things that I think gets shoved aside, for many people. Do you have any stories or any thoughts? Like you mentioned how you work with your real estate partners, and I think it was a really good point earlier about having an estimate and understanding what the cost is going to be before making offers on a home. But how has that process for you changed, or how things that you do today with your partners that maybe 5-10 years ago when you first got in you didn't do? Is there anything that you really think is a priority in that relationship today?
I think your partnership with your insurance agent is so huge right now, especially with how insurance is. It used to be very, very competitive. Like you can get a cheap policy anywhere. Like I had a house in Cameron Park like 10 years ago, or right after my husband passed away. I sold our house in Folsom and moved to Cameron Park. It was like $850 a year. That exact same house now would be about $4,000 per year. It has gotten so tight. Sometimes they'll say like, oh, it's a buyer's market, right? It's an insurance company's market right now. So your partnership with your insurance agent is so critical and key, because a lot of times like you can work with some things like, okay, we need to get a DTI down to a certain amount. How can we work it out? There's a partnership that goes along with that. Okay, let me see what I could do about deductibles. Let me talk to your client, see where they're comfortable at. Like, where can we make some changes and adjustments in the policy without sacrificing coverage, And insurance is not quick right now either. So that's the other thing I tell people is like, get it in early. Don't wait on your client to figure it out. Because they're going to be like, especially a first-time home buyer, like, I don't know where I'm going to go. I'll just call up AAA over here. They said no. When we call State Farm, they said no. Well, I don't know. I can't get insurance. So I got frustrated with the no, so I didn't do it for a week. And then they're like,
now we're trying to close.
Now you're trying to close. I have to clear conditions and everything. If you have a good insurance person that you're working with, especially a broker, like, let me get on that with like 50 companies right now. I'll do it for them. And I know all the right stuff. We push it out to you really, really quick. But if you do it like really upfront, like very early on, like we're in contract, I'm going to have them go shop and go do what they need to do. But can you do this for me too? That way we have in our back pocket, whether they take it or not. Like I don't take it personally if they don't take my policy. For me, it's like a service that I'm doing for my partners. I'm like, I want this transaction to go really smooth for you. So I'm cool with it. Let me get you that quote. If they want to use it, they can use it. If they have their own, great. No harm, no foul. I don't have a problem with it. But it's that teamwork, right? That partnership of just doing, I'll get it done, and you just tell me if you want to go with it or not.
Love it. That's definitely one of the things that we've seen, right, is we're trying to get to closing, and insurance is not handled yet, like, and the impact of that. But that's such a valuable point that I think is worth echoing, right, is the importance of getting started and laying that foundation early on, because it's a frustrating thing to have that be the holdup when you're emotionally invested in the closing, and it's definitely different. So that's a great point.
Well, there's some things, one thing I will mention too, is that some companies, the ones that are still sticking around with good prices still, they're taking longer to underwrite. So if you want to get that good price, like I have one going with another real estate office right now where they are like, we are so dependent on this insurance policy because they know what the price is. I told them, I said, if you guys have time on your side, I could do it. It'll either be $2,000 with this one company or it's going to be $1,000 with this one company. But they want to see that the trees are gone, that these trees cut back, they're overhanging the roof. This one will ignore it for right now, but they will probably catch it later. This one sees it up front, but it's half the price. They're like, this is the one, we can't do the other one. It's DTI is out of the range. And I'm like, but they're going to take 3 weeks probably to underwrite that. So we need time to do it. That's not up to me. Mm-hmm. That's up to the insurance company. But it's a more favorable situation. It's like the deal is dead if we don't have it. So it's like if you had that time up front, if we waited until like a week before closing, it's not going to happen. I'm probably going to be dead in the water, you know?
Let me ask you a question about specific things. So I hear a lot about, things like cutting back the trees. A lot of, we've been hearing about companies that are saying, well, that roof hasn't been replaced in 15 years, so we're going to raise your rates. What is the best roof to put on a house now? Is it metal?
I would say tile, the concrete tile or the clay tile. They have the longer longevity to it. And then the composition shingle or the asphalt shingles are the second best.
Comp shingle is better than a metal roof?
Metal roofs are okay, like in certain areas, like if you have a lot of snow and that sort of thing. I would do a metal roof out there more than the other two.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's more like a Sacramento or anything like that, like honestly, the tile is the best. They actually will insure it for longer. So really what happens is not so much that they raise the rate, is that they exclude the roof more so. So if the roof is 20 years old, they'll go, that's fine, but we're only going to give you actual cash value versus replacement cost value. And the difference between those two things is actual cost is basically the depreciated value. The replacement cost is how much is it going to cost to replace the entire roof altogether. So now they're saying it's too old, we're going to have to depreciate it. That's not the worst case scenario, honestly, because it's 20 years old. It's had a pretty good long life to it. It's when they exclude the roof altogether. That's when we had a problem. And not a lot of companies will deal with that. They'll just go, the roof's too old, we don't want to do it. Because they're like, that's a separate exclusion we have to put on. We don't want to do that. And some companies are cool with it. They'll say, we're willing to do the exclusion. We just won't cover anything that has to do with the roof. Water gets in, causes leakage or anything, we just won't cover it. It's not the best situation either, because there's a lot of issues that can come inside the house, not just the roof, through the roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 20 years it's usually on a shingle, asphalt shingle composition roof, and it's longer. Sometimes some companies will go to 40 years on the tile roofs.
That's a obvious thing. I know when you drive through neighborhoods now, like you can just see like the regular, like the types of roofs you see, and the ones that were pre the composition shingles. I just noticed the ones where you're like, that looks like an insurance nightmare.
When it's wood shake, that's it.
Like I'll let you like the other wood shake.
There's some in William
whoa.
Land Park I still see because my son goes out there on the Saturdays, and I'm like, wood shake roof? Oh, I don't know who's insuring that one. Like, that's probably California Fair Plan. You know.
Wow.